My name is Phillip, and I'm the president of Alamo Farmstead's Babcock Road Neighborhood Association, and I was the planning chair for the Heidmer-Leon Creek Community Plan. And I participated with some of y'all, as well as a lot of prior commissioners, in developing a whole lot of plans for the city of San Antonio. And so I think it's a wonderful thing, and I think that the city in general does a great job for setting up these plans. And so in the Heidmer-Leon Creek Community Plan, we have essentially Ross Lofthead, so in Oakland Estates, Alamo Farmsteads, and Verde Hills, which have over 300 private wells in that community here in San Antonio that is downstream essentially from this development. So we have a major concern with regards to what's going on, or the potential of what's going to go on. And so some of this is, you all know all this, but I'm just going to kind of walk through it. So neighborhood plans, community plans, and sector plans are adopted components of the city's comprehensive master plan. And so they actually have weight and value. And I think we forget that sometimes. And I like to remind people about that, because this is really the community's only a chance to really kind of give their input, and expecting you to help support them, because a lot of people have nothing else but these plans, to support and help their communities. And these plans are not made in a vacuum, and so it takes years and months and years. And so this particular plan, the North Sector Plan, I was there. City planners were there. Jody Sherrill, as a commissioner, was there. And so if you go look, his picture's there, so for proof. But developers, realtors, businesses, residents, citizens, and so they get everybody together to make these plans. And so everyone gets a spot at the table to kind of say, here's how we want this to happen. So. And so looking at one stop, so part of the plan, you kind of lay out how you want this property to be managed. And so these properties were designated as county tier. And so that says what the size to be developed. And then the west portion, and everything around it is kind of listed as low density residential. And so One Stop didn't identify all the rest of them, but so it's either county tier or low density residential. And then also, I think was kind of brought up with regards to, there's a registration for Scenic Loop Lotus Creek, and they weren't necessarily notified as well as they should have been. And I'm fighting for that regularly on all kinds of other things going on, for the city reaching out to the communities. But it's true that they probably weren't reached out as well as they could have been. And so with regards to the comprehensive master plan, it talks about if the development is inconsistent with the land use plan, so we're talking about super high density going into what's currently county tier, that's not consistent. It says the request must be approved by a zoning, by a planning commission to make the change to support whatever they're getting ready to have. That's not happening. And it's kind of because it's in that ETJ, and so that's kind of a squirrely thing where we're going to allow for this super intense development into a county tier and not really work with the plan itself. So that seems contradictory there. The proposed MUD, as I said, was surrounded by the county tier and low density. But normal development standards, as we were going through all those planning meetings, says you kind of move from less dense to more dense as you go outside the core is the lower density, and as you move to the outside, it becomes a lot more dense. And that's where we'll say, the arterial roads are, and so that's where you allow for the higher density. So that's just natural development program or plans on how you do that. And so we talked about part of the reason for doing that with regards to core, not much people, not much traffic, and as you move out to at more intensity, where you want them to be on those major roadways. And so we would expect this kind of development to be on a major arterial, and it's not. It's on, as we were saying, on a public low density, low passing roadway, and is just not appropriate for this amount of traffic. So a lot of changes would have to occur that the city is going to have to fund, and that's a problem. And then the whole dialogue with regards to the egress and ingress, a variance was given, and I don't know why, because we talk about, on the other board I sit on, about life and safety. And I could not support something that's going to put any citizens at risk for safety perspective. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Let me show the last screen.
Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it. All right, it is 10:40.